Hello and welcome to this week's Wild Spirits News. I'm Sibylle and today I'll start off with the question, are you working too much and still always broke? When I was in my 20s, I was pretty much always broke. Well, at the beginning of my 20s, I was still a student and living off odd jobs, and after that I had my first jobs, and somehow my situation never seemed to change. I lived in my overdraft. As I got older, something funny happened. The jobs that I was doing got more and more demanding and stressful. And I slipped into this vicious cycle of being really exhausted and compensating this by overspending, ending up broke, and as a result having to work even more and being more exhausted and so on and so forth. It was a downward spiral. I know that many people recognize this and are caught in this kind of spiral, but there is a way out. So your mission today is to recognize the pattern and to overcome it. So your first task is called to come clean. You may protest now that you just don't earn enough money. And this might be true. These situations do exist. But if you're like most of us, you probably earn more now than you did when you left school or finished your degree with your first job, right? Think back 10 years ago. How much money did you make compared to now? Chances are, and again, there are exceptions, but chances are you'll earn more now than you did years ago. It's simply that your lifestyle has increased with your income. To a certain degree, there's nothing wrong with that. We all want to up-level our lifestyle, right? And that's fine. However, if you're stuck in a pattern of being broke, then that'll keep you forever broke no matter how much money you make. And the second thing to come clean about to yourself is to not feel too bad about this. If you're caught in this cycle that I described earlier of being tired, overspending, making impulse purchases and stuff like that, spending money on things you don't strictly need, going broke and having to work even more, then please recognize that you're not stupid and neither are you alone. In fact, this is exactly how capitalism works. Without getting too political now, capitalism is built on an ever-increasing economic model. So ever-increasing spending is necessary for it. That's why advertising, marketing, all these subliminal messages that you get all the time program you to do just that. Task 2 is called no more broke mentality. I've always hated the term frugality. It smacks of self-denial and scarcity. I want you to recognize that the true self-denial is the way of living that I described earlier, the way of overspending, this vicious cycle of overspending, being broke and working more and overspending and working more. And this is denying yourself. It's denying yourself the life that you deserve, the happiness that you deserve. So this is not about frugality. This is about changing your mindset away from this there's never enough to an abundance mindset of I always have enough money for everything. This goes beyond this video. It is a task that your mindset is something you need to work on for weeks and months and even years. At the beginning, it can be as simple and as difficult as policing your own thoughts. Whenever you have these, I don't have enough, it's not, I can't afford it, these negative, these scarcity thoughts, to replace them with something abundant. I don't choose to spend money on this. I have money enough for this. I'm paying this bill because I have the money to pay it. Abundance thoughts like that. It'll take a while. And because it's exhausting, especially at the beginning, a lot of people don't bother to do it or don't stick with it. But I can tell you, this gets much easier very fast. For the first couple of weeks, it seems like you can't do it. But these thoughts will decrease and the abundance thoughts will increase. And you can also get support in the form of coaching, in the form of reading books about personal finances, money books. I can really, really recommend that. And it will get easier over time. But this is your second task. Task 3 is called joy in abundance. This is what you do instead of thinking in frugality and scarcity. See, when I downsized my life, it improved in every way. I didn't deny myself anything. On the contrary, I had more time. I was more rested. I had space to pursue my passions and be joyful and lit up. And there was enough money for everything. Miraculously, magically. I have 3 steps for you that you can take in order to move in that direction. The first step is something that one of my own money coaches said to me many years ago. It was quite funny. He said to me, as I was kind of complaining and whining to him, and he said, Sibylle, if you want to stop being broke every month, you just need to stop buying stuff. And this sounds almost painfully simplistic, doesn't it? But it's true. We buy so much stuff that we don't need. You don't need the latest gadget. If you have lived without it for the first 20, 40, 60, 80 years of your life, chances are you can still survive without it. You don't need it now. You don't always need new clothes. There's a reason why I'm wearing this blouse today, by the way. If you're watching this channel regularly, you might have seen this in a video just a few weeks ago. Do you know why? I don't have that many clothes, and I'm not at all ashamed of it. And it's not the end of the world. It's another thing that this capitalist consumer mentality has suggested to us, that we need new stuff all the time. We don't. It doesn't decrease my quality of life and my enjoyment of life in any way if I don't buy new clothes all the time. Isn't that interesting? So this is the first step. Stop buying stuff. The second step is to determine 2 or 3 luxuries that you can't do without. Well, you could do without it, but you don't want to do without it. Let's put it this way. What I mean by this is, I don't want you to adopt a frugality mindset. Now, if clothes are really important for you, then still buy clothes. If you might have heard financial advice that said, if you buy a coffee on your way to work every morning, you can't do this because this is huge money that adds up so much over a year. It's true. This, whatever many pounds or dollars or euros you spend every morning does add up. However, the trick is that it's 2 or 3 things and not 20. Because if it's 20 of those things, that'll really drain your finances every month. And the third step is to put aside money for your passion or passions. You need to allocate money to that because there's nothing more important than your passions. A wonderful side effect of pursuing your passions and being lit up is that it really decreases that impulse spending. You won't have that urge anymore to just buy things because you won't be frustrated and unfulfilled and tired and exhausted and overworked anymore. You will be lit up, you will be in the zone, and you will know that you don't need that much or anything else. And this brings me to the 4th task, which is, as usual, to let me know. I would really like to know what you're taking out of this video, which of the 3 steps you're going to put into practice, and what your thoughts on all this are. So hit reply on the email that you got the link to the video with, and write to me, and I will get back to you, I promise. If you didn't get the link to the video in an email, that means you're not part of the Wild Spirits community yet, and you should join us. Go to wildspiritscoaching.com and fill in the little form there. The newsletter is 1 email per week. It's 100% spam free. You'll get a lot of additional information, extra articles, recommendations of books and other resources, and sometimes you get exclusive offers that only my subscribers ever get to see, that nobody else ever sees. So go to wildspiritscoaching.com and sign up, or you can Google Wild Spirits Coaching. That'll get you to my website as well. Thank you for watching.